Good morning and welcome to Nana's Nuggets. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about something that's kind of a bit of a mystery to me and not, and that is games that we play in the car. First of all, I wonder who started these games and where they came from. For example, my grandchildren love to play the game called Slug Bug. Now every time they see a Volkswagen Beetle, they can punch you. Slug Bug. Where did Slugbug start? Who started Slugbug? Who said you could punch someone? You know what I think? I think that it was some child who was mad at their brother or sister who decided, what a cool way to get back at them. I'll tell them it's a new game called Slugbug. That way I get to hit my brother or sister and Mom and Dad can't get mad because we're playing a game. And they could, theoretically, slug me back. So there's Slugbug. And then there's Bingo on top of Slugbug. Now Bingo, when I grew up, was a song. Farmer who had a dog, Bingo was his name, oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name, oh. And of course you all know that as you sang the song, you dropped off the last letter and you clapped. So the song ended up being Bingo was his name, oh. So how do you get a game where you punch somebody again by seeing a yellow car or yellow truck? So that's bingo. So here I am just driving down the road lots of times and paying attention to where I'm going and not really looking at the color of the cars, but the grandchildren are. So every once in a while there'll be a little punch on my arm. Slug bug, Nana. Psst. Bingo, Nana. And sometimes, if it's a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, 2 slugs because it's a bingo slug bug. So I decided I would make up my own game. And this is my game. It's called the Purple Pinch. And this game can only be played in my car because it's my game. Those are my rules. If you see a purple motorcycle, you get to pinch the person 1 time. If you see a purple car, 2 times. But if you see a purple truck, that's worth 3 pinches. Now, mind you, pinches are a lot more painful than a slug. They can be, if you do it right. Of course, I do it nicely. And, my rules again, if by any chance you don't happen to see a purple car, but there's a red and a blue car traveling either side by side, or one behind the other, well, red and blue makes purple, doesn't it? So therefore, yep, you get a purple pinch for a red and blue car. So I made up that game. I made the rules because somebody has to start games, right? So that's how it started. And then I was thinking about the games that we used to play in the car when I was growing up as a kid. Usually, almost every Sunday, we drove from Lebanon to Hill, New Hampshire to visit my Aunt Ruby and my Uncle Pinky. And we always played this game where you counted the animals on your side of the road, depending on which side of the car you were sitting on. And whoever had the most animals when we got there was the winner. Now, we didn't really win anything. Just you got to say, I won. You know, that kind of a thing. But we knew the route so well that we also knew where all the farms were and which was the best side of the road to be on. The kicker is, in this game, is that if you pass the cemetery, you lose all your animals. You can't keep them. So we didn't really fight over who got to sit at which window, but the thing was that you never really knew if the farmer was going to have his cows out in the field that day, or maybe there were baby calves, or maybe there were some sheep. You know, you never knew. So the game wasn't always a certainty as to who was going to win. So that used to take up time. Then the other game, I don't know that it's really a game, and I don't know how it started either, but whenever you came to a bridge, you had to lift your feet up off the floor. Now, if you didn't lift your feet up off the floor, I'm guessing the bridge would break and we'd all go down in the river and drown. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how those got started. Well, what about the railroad tracks? Now, some people play when they cross the railroad tracks, they lift their legs too. Not me. When you cross the railroad tracks, you have to close your eyes. Now, I don't know why you close your eyes. Maybe so you won't see the train if it comes and hits you? I don't know. But that was that. Now, this other thing was not a game, but it was something that happens, and it still happens, I think, in everybody's car. Well, who's the one that's lucky enough to get to sit in the middle? Not either they're either a very lucky person or they're a not so lucky person. It depends on how you look at this little game that gets played. As you know, when you're going around a corner, you lean whichever way the corner is going. So you either lean to the left or you lean to the right. Now the person in the middle can take this to their advantage, and they can really lean into that person. And of course that person is going to start squawking, "You're touching me! Mom, he's touching me! She's touching me!" Whatever. Well, of course he's touching you. And the person in the middle can be very nice and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I just couldn't help it. It was the momentum of the car that just carried me into you. I'm really sorry." But most other times, the person in the middle is very gleefully grateful that they get to squash the person on the left or squash the person on the right, because that's the name of the game. But sometimes that squashing backfires. When does that squashing backfire? Well, it backfires when the person who's on the left or the right by the car doors puts their arm up against the door and braces it, and then when the person leans, they push against them. And then what's even better is if the person on the other side of the car is doing the same thing and the one in the middle is squished. So, "Mom, they're touching me." Well, of course they're touching you. They're touching you because you're in the middle seat and you're getting squished. So, those are just some fun things that I remember about car rides. And seeing how we're always in the car and we're always taking long rides sometimes, let me know what you think some of your favorite car games are. Anyways, this is Nana's Nuggets, and I love you all, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And I just want you to know that I really like the Purple Pinch game. And by the way, another rule I have is that if you're not in the car with me, but I see a purple motorcycle or purple car and purple truck, if I happen to get a picture of it, I get to pinch you when I get home. That's my rules. Nana's Nuggets. Love you all. Bye-bye.